Witnesses will say that the child's underwear and the defendant's underwear were right next to the bed. Wow. Then there's a witness who will talk about observing Jackson licking the head of another child. Again, I believe that refers to the 1993 accuser, and let's not forget that that is what the accuser in this case was what his brother said he saw on that plane ride back to Miami.
I don't think anyone's forgetting that fact, Savannah.
Yeah. Well, good, but I'm here to remind you. Yeah.
And that's why, anyway, for them, I think it's so compelling because it's so unique. Who can forget that? A head licking, like that is just so disturbing.
Yeah, there's one other incident that the prosecutor mentioned, and he didn't name names. And some of this evidence was not permitted in as it relates to two boys. And just from what I'm guessing, I think this other incident has to do with that because it seems to be only a grooming kind of evidence. It doesn't relate to a particular sex offense. So I think that isn't going to come in. But I'll tell you what the prosecutor said about it. He said that there's a witness who would say that Jackson encouraged children to call him daddy, that he would talk to the children's mothers and say, we should, think of us all as family, think of me as daddy. That kind of, to me, speaks of grooming, and it didn't relate.
Should come forward and cooperate with the criminal justice system. It's hard. I can understand why children don't, because as the district attorney said this morning, they're put through what the alleged victim in this current case has been put through. That's right. And we're being really cross-examination by the defense.
Yeah, that was my understanding. It's my understanding that no matter what you agree to in a civil suit, a criminal suit trumps it. If you say in a civil suit, I won't testify against you in a court of law, I won't bring another civil suit against you, that's one thing. But then if there is a criminal case filed, you cannot ignore that. The criminal case trumps the civil.
And Diane, this is Michael Jackson leaving court today with his entourage. Rough day for him today. Kimberly behind today. Go ahead, Diane.
Kimberly, the thing I noticed today was this was an enormously important day for both sides in this. And Michael Jackson appears with his mom and dad. I kept thinking that perhaps LaToya would be here, or Janet, or Jermaine, or Jackie, or Marlon, or Tito, or gosh, did I get all of them? But just his mom and dad. I was really surprised by that. Randy, I forgot Randy. Thank you. Say hello.
Kimberly, I think the discussion whether or not he can or can't testify, if the district attorney hit him with a subpoena, I have to agree with Gloria, or a few times I have in the past, where I think he would be obligated to show up. The people who are watching this show have got to be asking themselves, there's basically something unfair about raising on the one hand a prior instance of alleged molestation, using it against Michael Jackson. That the children have a room around by themselves and they were looking at the pornography themselves. It was not being shown by Jackson. The pornography by Jackson is like, this is not a fingerprint case. The Michael Jackson case is anything but a fingerprint case. But fingerprints can be powerful evidence in circumstances that dictate it being shown to the jury.
Well, this is why I love having smart prosecutors on. There's a prosecutor who is actually making an argument that maybe this evidence isn't so effective for the prosecutor in this case. I'm not the only one ranting about the defense side in this case. Let me ask you another question, Mr. Rocco. Why do you think Matthew, the 93 accuser, speaking of which, there he is, is it Michael Jackson, or is it Peter Pan, or we're just really not sure. This is a guy who obviously has an unhealthy interest and fascination. Dan, I just had a question. Is there any knowledge of whether the mother was aware of these prior accusations against Michael Jackson before they made the choices to involve their son in his life?
Yeah, that's a really good question. As I kind of calculated, I think that this mother would have been an early mother. She got married at 16 years old and started having babies right away. And I think, I don't know for sure. That's really the honest answer to your question. But remember, this is a mother who saw her son dying. I mean, the doctor said he's going to die. In 3 weeks, he's going to be dead. You have to plan his funeral. And as soon as Michael Jackson started to call,
I thought he hurt his case more with Larry Feldman than helped it, but getting that picture out there was very effective. One thing I do want to point out that some of the guests have talked about is that terrible parenting, which you have in both this case and in the 93 case, by allowing a child to sleep with Michael Jackson for 30 days, is really not a defense to a child molest case.
And really, it's the type of thing that a pedophile will look for as a dysfunctional family to permeate themselves.